Maria Vorkule, kes on projektijuht Üle Baltikumi PR-agentuurist ja selleks on AV Olsen and Partners. Ja nüüd ma annan üle. Palun, väike tongue twister peab ka sees olema.
But we switch to English now because they're not native Estonian speakers from Riga. And I don't speak Latvian, and I think most of you don't, and my Russian isn't so fluent to do it in Russian, so we'll do it in English. So I'm really glad that you made it here to Tallinn, and I have been in Riga too. We actually met with you at one press conference for Latvian really big pop stars. Markus Riva, maybe some of you know.
Who knows Markus Riva? Raise your hands. Good.
So we're going to talk we talked about brands before, but now we're going to talk about how to engage influencers in a branded event and PR campaign. Because it's one thing to have a product that you can actually put in your news feed and make games, but it's a totally different thing if you will make an event or you have something bigger than just brand awareness that you have to share, maybe some social cause. So we're going to talk about how to use influencers in PR campaigns and branded events. So first of all, Maya, I would like to ask you, how did you become influencer?
It was back in 2015 when I was a stylist. I had my, let's say, company, and I was working with clients a lot. And I had like 3,000 followers back then, and that was the first time I received an offer from a company, and they asked me, how much does your post cost? And I was like, I need to check this out. And so my first post cost 30 euros. I still remember that. And since then I started really learning about this whole new thing. And that's when I was just slowly going upwards and started really focusing on it professionally, because now it's my only job. That's all I do. Every day from early morning till night, so yeah.
That's really cool. And Maria, you're a little bit on a different role. So you present AV Olsen and Partners. Hopefully
Yes,
it was correct.
It's correct.
Yeah. So you work with PR. It's your life. How did you come on this road to start working in PR, and what are the current PR campaigns you're organizing in terms of style?
Actually, I became PR professional quite occasionally. I planned to become a journalist, but on the second course, I realized that PR is much more interesting for me. So the magic happened. I started working in a PR agency. It was my first job, and I'm still here in this company. Regarding PR campaigns that I'm arranging, I work tightly with influencers on daily basis. Most of my clients are international brands, like Polish brand Forev, like Swedish brand Semper, and many other. And we engage influencers in all our campaigns tightly because it's really efficiently. We see results.
And how do you think is the situation right now in Latvia regarding Instagram marketing and influencer collaborations in general? I have seen it's a little bit different than we have in Estonia. So maybe you can brief us how popular is Instagram and influencers in Latvia?
Well, it's very popular. It's still, I think, the most popular social media place. And we now, let's say in 2018, we have so many bloggers. Let's say, and now it's like the situation is like you may call yourself a blogger if you have already like 500 followers.
Wow, I'm a blogger.
A bit you pretend
Congratulations.
to call.
Because there are some campaigns where clients want to have, let's say, they want to have 20 or 30 bloggers, and they just need the quantity of all of them. So they may ask me to join, they may ask you to join, and then in the, let's say, at the end, they get this big number. Or they choose to work with one huge star, like, for example, Marcus Riva, with 150,000 followers, or just 3, let's say, medium.
Yes, and it really depends on campaign budgets, how many budgets we have, what is our financial basis, because not all brands can afford Marcus Riva or someone like that. And if a company doesn't have budgets, then they have to collaborate with the micro-influencers who have 500 followers or 1,000 followers. But still it is a good option for collaboration because this is quite cheap and because these people usually have a very good engagement rate.
I believe also in micro-influencers a lot because I think the conversion rate will be really big from there because usually they know the people who they engage with and they're really active in it. But how much does it cost in Latvia, or how, like if there's a company here or that wants to collaborate with influencers in Latvia, so what are the terms usually for micro-influencers or bigger? What should be the budget for doing a campaign in Latvia?
About the budget, you may comment, but I know the prices vary really a lot. Let's say there, I know are people who have, let's say, around 40,000 followers, and they charge 50 euros per post, okay, which is not nice, because for the market, it's very, very low. Then I'd say for 25, 30, 35,000 followers is a good price, around 200 euros per post.
I agree.
Okay. But if you think about, like, in Estonia, it's already passing trend that you make a campaign and you bring a lot of people in, exception are events. So how many brand collaborations or PR campaigns will be made for like all influencers are posting basically on the same time, or how to regulate that, you know, there's one follower for 3 influencers and now I get the same post. How to regulate that you actually don't bore the follower, like there is same post all over again. So how to like make the time difference for it? How do you plan it? How does it work for you?
Actually, for a PR campaign, the more followers we have, or not followers, sorry, influencers we engage in the campaign, the better it is for us because we cover bigger audience. But if we speak about number of posts and regularity, and if it is boring for followers or it is not boring, let's say we give freedom to influencer, so he posts in his native style these posts, and it gives us opportunity to make this content natural, so it doesn't look like advertising, and it is very interesting for his followers.
But regarding, like, do say sometimes influencers, you know, we do this collaboration also with the other influencer that might your audiences might connect, so please don't post before Thursday because this other influencer is doing a post on Monday, because what we see is a lot that we say, okay, you have to post on this date, please, like we have a schedule, and sometimes they, you know, post earlier and then you see like, oh, there are 2 people doing the post, and the effectiveness actually is much lower than it would for one. Have you experienced these kind of things?
Let's say I have never experienced from our agencies that they are asking us to post in a certain time because somebody else will do. That is what I have actually come up with, and I ask them when they come to me and say, can you do this collaboration with us? I'm asking who else is going to do this collaboration, and then they say, let's say, this person, and then I always think, shall I do this together in this team? Or for example, if it's fine, I just offer, let's do it in a little bit another day or week or month even, so that it doesn't mix, because I don't think it's very good mixing.
And I have to add that, as usual, we try to engage different influencers with different audience in the campaign, because it doesn't make sense if we engage influencers with the same audience, because why we should pay twice for the same people. That's why it doesn't make sense to control these days. We just have to think seriously about this selection procedure when we choose bloggers for collaborations, so their audience is different.
That's good. Good like pre-work is usually like the ground basis for good collaborations. But if you think specifically about events, I know that Maija, you have been like at Rolls-Royce events. It looks really fancy. I saw the story. So how does it work? Like, how do you, if you organize a PR event and you need influencers there, and you actually can't say them, you have to stay in this corner, make this photo with that brand, and tag this and tag that. It will never happen, because usually you don't pay for influencers who come to an event because they come to have good time, and you don't want to make it a work for them. And it's a really complicated task, because I know also in Estonia sometimes influencers say that, hey, I was asked to this event and they gave me a list of tasks I need to do, so I actually go to work there not having good time. How to avoid these kind of situations, and even is it possible if you have to have PR value back and you have to make a fun event for everyone?
I have never received a list with a task what I have to do at the event. Never. I don't know. I've never seen that happening in Riga.
I also don't have this experience, but if we talk about influencers who come and who can't attend the event, then we of course try to choose the best timing. As usual, we already have experience what timing is better for the event. So for example, we should never arrange event on Mondays and on Fridays in the evening, because no one will come. It is a bad timing. Then we should never arrange event at 6 p.m. or something, because people are going home. What about tasks? Then we also don't provide some kind of tasks to influencers. But if we speak about hashtags, for example, then we try to make this branding, let's call it like that, whenever we can. So people can notice these hashtags and can just have a look and to type it correctly. So actually it's the best we can do. And of course we should communicate with influencers during the event. So if they have some questions about tags, hashtags, about products and so on, then we can provide them a piece of advice.
But wait, do you really have this in Estonia, that you have a list for an event?
We try to keep close relations with our influencers, and we respect them as people. And yes, we have heard those things, but it's usually that there are somebody who just wants to make a good event, not meaning something bad, but they just don't know how to organize it, because there's someone, HR manager, who sent out like a good invitation, and they said like, bring your sneakers and the raincoat, in this like motherly style. So it just sometimes falls out like funny. But how you as an influencer, like you're invited to this event, and they said like, do this, use this hashtag, how much you actually are willing on your own or wanting to do the posts or stories, and what should be in place for you to make a story, for example?
Well, stories are the easiest. I don't have anything in against it, to use all the hashtags, all the places, to tag everyone whom I know in this event, because it's just a story. It's very alive. It's an amazing tool to use. But if we talk about the feed, I don't usually post photos from the events to my feed, because I have my own, let's say, visual of the feed, and most of the time the events are inside. The lighting is not natural, as you know, so I don't usually mix it. That's why I always try to use the stories as much as I can and just show the whole event. And by the way, I don't know, most of our bloggers influencers and celebrities, when they come to the event, it's kind of, they know what to do. They take pictures, they post in the feed, they do these stories. It's like, I don't know, they are born with it already.
Yeah, I think it comes down like if you're doing it really hard or just for of the sake of money, because sometimes there is also from the influencer side, it's like difficult to collaborate that we want to make an event and they actually say like, my condition is I will do nothing, no posts. So you have to also accept that there are some people who you want on the event, but they won't post. I don't know if you have the same things in Latvia.
Not that I heard of, because we are more open for the events. It's
Okay.
like, I don't know, I don't think that we have this kind of, no, there are some, let's say, superstars, celebrities who say, if you want to have me on your event, then you should pay. Yeah, but just to arrive and to be there and to post. But usually it's like you come, you have a good time, you chat with everyone, you may have actually there some, let's say, business talk as well, because there are other people in that room. I think it's very good for you just to join and to be there, to be present.
And actually, I suppose that for influencers, it is a kind of source of content and of opportunity to meet business partners, potential clients. Okay, maybe at the moment I have invited Maya to the event and we don't collaborate now, but we can chat a little bit about some another, my client or another campaign, and maybe we will start collaboration very soon.
Regarding, I understand that the events are really popular in your market and actually people are willing to come and post there as influencers. What is the PR value of an influencer? Is it going like in the future, looking like 2-3 years perspective, could it be also like additional media channel, like we are used to like reading news from, let's say you also have Delfi. So could it be like the new Delfi and you kind of become journalists or?
It is already New Delphi, really.
I agree, yes, it
Because,
is.
I mean, millennials, for sure, they don't read Delphi or any other serious, let's say, media. They go on Facebook, they go on Instagram, and that's where they check everything out. And that's actually also my news feed. That's my news feed, you know why? Because if I go on a really, really serious news media page, it's like negative, death, violence, poor, whatever. It's like when you go to Instagram, everything's fine. So I think you agree, right?
That's a really good point. I thought why I'm not programmed to read Delphi anymore. It's like sometimes, well, they actually have like good news and they want to engage like influencers also in their content creation. And we have this My Hits, it's a radio channel. They make like a big award show where actually they make influencer sessions. So it's really becoming popular. Is there anything new, like innovative also on your market regarding like engaging influencers in a new way that is not like just to posting or they are just like public figures maybe in some traditional news channel? Have they plugged it in, the influencer collaboration in that aspect?
I know that there are some TV shows already considering bloggers, and then there are some collaborations with some famous, let's say, podcasts and
Streams, maybe, yes, live streams with influencers, and when influencer makes collaboration with a representative of a company, of a brand, for example, of a doctor. You had these streams, yes, with doctor, with fitness trainer or something
with fitness
like that.
trainer, yeah. It was like, I had this idea that we should do every Sunday sharply at 9 o'clock in the evening. We are going live with my fitness trainer and we were talking about, let's say, healthy lifestyle, about fitness, about how to boost your, let's say, I don't know, will to go and to do something to make you look better, feel better. And there were girls asking like thousands of questions all the time while we were doing this live. And I had this, let's say, for a couple of months, and it was huge. And we were doing it on my channel and on her channel. And then we had this really big, let's say, following growth. I mean, she gained from me around 5,000 followers just from these live sessions.
It is actually a great opportunity to engage really interested in the audience And it is great opportunity to integrate the brand because, for example, if it is a trainer who is engaged into this live stream, we can talk about all kind of products connected with healthy lifestyle. It could be nutrition, it could be some technical equipment for doing sports, it could be sportswear clothes, and so on and so on. So, for example, I'm working with a sportswear brand, and I can provide clothes as for Maya, as for the trainer, and let's make party happen.
That's really cool that like live streams have so good results, like in numbers. How much you use live streams as one channel for PR? Do you do like live session? It's like an event happening in the digital era. How much do you use those things?
Sometimes if we pay influencers for posting, for communication, we ask them to make live streams, but if we don't pay influencers, then we can't ask them to make this. Of course, it's fascinating if they think that content of the event is quite interesting for their followers to make this live stream, but as usually we can't ask them for that.
I have done this really amazing. I had this experience with the Drogas. Do you have Drogas? No?
We don't, but I know what it is.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Probably. It's like,
It's like
Ideal
boots.
Cosmetica in Estonia.
Yeah, okay. So I had this idea. I suggested them, let's do a live within the, let's say, I take one day. I take over your account, you know, the takeover. So I took over their company's account, and for the whole day I was doing the stories, I was posting, I was chatting with all the subscribers from Drogas, and I also had this live session, and it was really, really amazing because everybody loved it, and it was something new on their page, which was also very nice. So they gained new followers because first I started on my channel, on my Instagram. I said, today everybody has to go there because I am going to be only there today, and you're going to find out everything, the most exclusive news from the beauty. And I'm actually doing it tomorrow for one shopping center. So I'm going to be all day in that shopping center just doing the takeover.
And the shopping center is?
Sky and More.
Okay, I check it out then. But if we come a little bit far, like we take a step back and we look at, in general, the collaborations, and there are so many different ways to do it, but for you, what are the 5 steps you keep in mind that it would be successful?
First of all, we should take into account audience of the bloggers, so the style of communication of blogger. For example, if it is a sportswear brand or healthy nutrition, we can't collaborate with a blogger who smokes or who drinks alcohol because their images don't correlate. Then the second thing is audience, which we would like to reach via this influencer, and which audience actually this influencer has. Because, for example, let's take an influencer. She has 80,000 of followers, and 50% of them are from Russia, 10% are from Estonia, 10% are from Latvia, and most of these 10% from Latvia are for example, 18 till 25 years old. But at the same time, our audience is, of course, from Latvia, because we are, for example, shopping center Sky and More. And we are interested in audience that has budgets to buy things from our shopping mall and who are about 25, 35 years old. That's why we can't collaborate with this influencer, because it doesn't make sense at all. So it is extremely important to select influencers that have appropriate audience. The second thing is to check, okay, she or he has appropriate audience, but it is very essential how many bots, how many mass followers, and how many commercial accounts this influencer has among his followers. So it is very bad when influencer has 20-30% of bots, of inactive followers, so it's extremely bad, and also doesn't make sense. We're just wasting our time and money.
May I ask, what tools do you use to actually check the insights? What is the audience of that influencer, and how many of those influencers are actually real? Do you use any services for?
Yes, there are services, but the easiest way and the most precise way to check influencers' audience, if we speak about age and geography of his followers, is just to ask to send print screen of this statistic. It is the most precise way, because all other programs, they might make mistakes. But if we want to check how many bots or mass followers he has, we can do it manually, just like check who likes posts, who comments posts. And we also can take some programs. For example, there is one Russian program called LiveDune, and there is another American program called Hyper Auditor.
Hype Auditor. Hype Auditor. You may write that down.
Of course, these programs, as I already mentioned, they might make some mistakes, but at least you see something that happens in his account.
That's true. How much, Maya, you use like this kind of share for shares and all those like things that are meant for growing the audience fast, but actually can bring also trash in? Do you use those things and do you get something real out of it?
I have been trying a lot because, look, if I am an expert in this field, I need to know everything, how everything works. So let's say it was like 3 years ago, I bought 2,000 followers because I was this girl with 8,000 followers who wanted to go to Milan Fashion Week, but nobody really cares about you if you don't have 10,000 followers. So I did, but the good news is that every summer Instagram deletes bots on all Instagram. So it's like, I don't know, 3 years have passed. I'm looking at these stats and nobody's there, so I'm fine. But about all these, commenting, and let's say, I know there are these groups of Instagram commentings, and everybody comments on the same people. It's not bad, but it's really obvious when it's like 50 people or 15 and commenting on everyone. That's, I don't know. If I'm a brand, if I see that, I think that maybe that blogger doesn't have that good statistics that they need to use these kind of, let's say, triggers.
But it's good you brought out comments, because if you think about Instagram algorithms, that the engagement of the post is really important, and why people use those, that page administrators use those the tricks, then it's just to get the post out to the people they actually want and care about. How do you solve this problem organically?
Look, there are so many ways. You just really need to be creative. For example, you may ask something under your post. Let's say you just have these 5 facts or 9 facts about you, and 1 fact is totally wrong, but all of them are like, did she really do that? And so people are going to just, all they need to do is just read this and hit the button from 1 to 9. That's it. And so you're getting comments. Or the other one is, you don't need to have this huge engagement on your post. You can do it on the stories, because you have now all these options with questions, So I'm using it really a lot. I'm giving a topic really, let's say, a topic that everyone I know is going to fight for their right, because I give all these, let's say, tricky topics, and I get really a lot of the answers, and it boosts your engagement. It's not just the feed photo.
But actually, engagement rate and this algorithm that you mentioned, it is the main reason why influencers should never, ever buy bots. Because you will never get real engagement rate if you have bots, because they don't react on your content.
Yeah, that's correct. But regarding like comments, it was really interesting that you brought out this like writing in text and commenting just on numbers 1 to 9, and it's more and more coming in the in the Instagram feed, and it's probably because that we don't have so much time, or we don't want to express ourselves with so long, like in writing, that we have to spend time thinking, so it's easier to put numbers 1 to 9. So if it comes down to you to see the difference of engagement, if it's in numbers or it's in alphabetics.
No, it's look. If it's okay, numbers are also very fine. But for example, there are some topics that everyone is gonna have to say something about it. For example, food. Oh my God, if you use food or healthy lifestyle, it's gonna be so many people saying, no, this diet works. No, that diet works. No, you're wrong. This doesn't work. And so you don't have to do anything. Like, for example, I did once one post. I did that on purpose because I like sometimes to bring something really wild into the audience. I had a photo of me in a kitchen in just a slip dress, nothing on me, and it was all fine. But I wrote a text that I don't like cooking. Why do you think I should even cook? You know? And that was such a wild topic. I mean, it was like huge girls were going, "What? What? You are not cooking, or what's wrong with you?" You know.
But if you make this extreme text under your post, I know in Estonia we have this some news site just write like headliner articles about it.
Perfect. Use that seriously because it's the best PR you can get. I mean, if you are popular, you don't need to worry what others will think about you because most of them will really think something different about you. So you don't need to worry about that.
That's a good point, and I think there is no such thing as bad PR, if we're honest. But if we come down to final thoughts, and what it would be your key takeaway if there are influencers or brand representatives who want to make something across borders and combining Estonia and Latvia, like, are there any possibilities for influencers to work together with you, doing something in collaboration, or like just brands like, hey, we want to start doing something in Latvia, let's do it together? Is it possible? How?
I am very, very open, and I had actually, when we were on a bus with Maria, we were talking about this, that it would be really perfect if our agencies could collaborate so that all of us, all three countries, can collaborate and make something big, because then, for example, when a huge brand comes, like, I don't know, for example, Schwarzkopf Professional, they're huge. It's like the German market is totally different. And when they come to Riga, and they're like, what? She has 27,000? It's like nothing for us. But still they work with me. So, but if we talk about really numbers, it would be perfect if we could really collaborate all together. I mean, Maria will say about the agencies, but I would really be happy to collaborate with many of you, because it's like you get my followers, I get your followers, we're neighbors, we're friends, right or wrong?
From brand's perspective, of course, it would be a great pleasure if we could collaborate with a person who has audience from all over Baltics, but there is a problem, language. Because sometimes, of course, Latvians don't want to follow Estonian-speaking influencers, and the same problem.
I do follow.
Do you understand?
No, I like the pictures.
So yes, the main issue is language, but still we're always looking for some people who can cover audience from all Baltics. It would be perfect.
I think we have to collaborate to achieve that goal, to actually bring the countries together, because I have felt that everyone is doing something different than others. We also have like Lithuanian company who has like team in Latvia and team in Estonia, and then it's like we meet once a year, you know, that's our collaboration. So it's sometimes we wish that, okay, let's do something together, and I think it's a good point.
We just need to start, and if you are all open, then of course I think agencies are going to be open and happy about it as well.
I hope they will be more happy, because I was talking, I don't know how many Finnish companies when we had a Finnish campaign, but the eagerness on their side to collaborate wasn't so big, because, you know, in Finland, if you have like 20,000 followers, it's a small number for them. So. But I think it's a good to join the politics, because we are having the same same smallness in our country, and that's a good point, and that actually it's a strength to collaborate.
And that would be like a new name, not like Estonian blogger, Latin blogger, Lithuanian, but the Baltics blogger. And it really sounds even bigger, right?
Yeah, that's true. And thank you for coming. You will also be in the after party, as I understood.
Yes.
Sure. Good. So we have some brands here who will be also be on the after party, and the Estonian influencers. So it's the first opportunity to become Baltic influencer or brand. So please don't forget to use that opportunity. You don't have it for 1 year until there's a new conference coming up. And thank you.
ja küsimused tulevad nüüd. Ma ründan ka siit selja tagant siin nüüd. Ja küsimustega on tegelikult see, et 3 küsimust siis või nii palju, kui teil on, ja nemad valivad oma lemmiku välja ja magusate meistrilt on auhind. Mina sain juba seda šokolaadi ja olen täiesti in love, nii et päriselt mega hea.
Maja, question to you. How do you do the Instagram lives? What kind of tools do you use? The phone or this way, that way? Somebody's filming you on a stand, or what's the best way to be effective?
The live, it's just I'm filming it with my phone, with a camera where I see myself, I see the comments, and that's it. I can do it like this, or I can hold it in my hand. But of course, it's more convenient to just put it somewhere or on a stand, and you have got your free hands. I like to always show with my hands, and yeah, it's like you don't need any additional person. If you are doing something, for example, if I want to show Drogas, and then I will invite my assistant, she will just walk behind me and film everything. That would be like more even interesting than me all the time, my face, you know, so.
Veel küsimusi? Nalja teete või? Viimane pingutus. Natukene on veel minna.
Hommiselt ka, täga on üks võite.
Lihtsalt niimoodi. Keegi on eriline maguse sõber vist.
One more then, if somebody doesn't want to ask. Which is more effective, to film the video and then post it, or to make a live, which gets more response?
If you want to shoot a live video, you need to tell about that to your followers, like say a day before, 2 days before, and then you need to remind in this. I usually do it in the stories. Like tomorrow I'm going live, and then I'm also asking my followers to send in the questions so that I'm ready, you know, what am I going to talk about? Or I even divide into topics. Let's say tomorrow is going to be all about skincare, the day after is going to be all about healthy lifestyle, then it's going to be about something, I don't know, philosophy, why not?
Okay, thanks.
Nii, hea. Yes.
I've got a question about in which language to post. I mean, in Facebook I use Estonian, in Instagram I usually do the posts in English, but at times when the brand that I'm collaborating with is an Estonian brand, so it kind of makes me, you know, be confused, like should I do it in Estonian or English, or what do you think?
We have the same issue, really, because we've got 3 languages. I'm half Latvian, half Russian, and the same, our market is like 50-50, but I always think if I live in Latvia, if I am all about our brands, who, by the way, I don't know what about you, but in Latvia, all these past years, we have so many companies that are like franchised in Latvia from bigger companies. That is why they really want me to talk in Latvian. If I am too lazy to write in both languages, I write in English so that everyone understands. But usually it's like, it's better to choose two languages. Let's say you may write something, but don't just copy, let's say in English, and then you just translate into Estonian or vice versa. It's better if you like start something in English and then you continue in Estonian.
Ja viimane küsimus.
Thank you. I have this kind of question. If you have one subject versus many subjects. For instance, you have fashion, beauty, cars, travel. What do you think? Which is better, to talk about only food or talk about many subjects?
I would choose only one subject if I could. And
Okay.
that's my only one subject lifestyle. And under this one subject lifestyle, there are like tens of mini subjects. And for me, it's even better because I get more deals. But if you are an expert in your own niche, I would suggest just do your thing best.
Okay, what is the one thing out of those tens inside the lifestyle which you would, what you would like to do?
Then I think that would be more as a stylist blogger, because I am a stylist. I've been working as a stylist for many years, so I think that would be what I would be doing.
Thank you.
So, Maja, which one was your favorite question? Who's gonna get the box of chocolates?
To the girl with the languages.
Oh, Laura. ma tean, et sa oled magusa sõber. Jaa, jubedalt. sul on ikka väga pikk maa minna.
So thank you, girls, and talk to you shortly after at Debois in the after party. So hopefully you have a storm of collaborations going on now. If there is nobody, I will do it myself and be the first and best in everything. I like to do it. So, okay, thank you.